Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our information series at bariatricregistereddietitianservices.com. I'm Susan Peacock, the registered dietitian and owner of bariatricregistereddietitianservices.com. Our aim here is to provide you with information directly from the source, whether it be bariatric patients, surgeons, bariatric coordinators, or psychologists. Anyone that is involved in helping you make your bariatric weight loss journey easier and give you insight so you make those right decisions. This morning, we're joined by Nancy St. Pierre, who is a bariatric weight loss patient. Welcome, Nancy.
Hi, Susan. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So let's dive right in. I really would like the viewers to know, and I'd like to hear your insight about what you started out with. You were overweight and you wanted to lose weight. So what weight loss situations did you have as far as what did you try first before the surgery came into your mind?
XYZ. I tried everything. I tried not eating. That didn't work. I tried this program called Quick Weight Loss. That worked for a little bit, but not.
How much weight did you lose with that?
I tried that program about 2 times, and the first time I lost probably 120 pounds or so.
Okay.
But I was only 100, maybe like 140 pounds overweight, so it wasn't as extreme as my second try. And then my second try, I lost maybe about 150 or so.
Okay.
But then I had a plateau and I just couldn't shake it, and they would always tell me, "Oh, eat less of fruit, eat less of a serving of carbs, and add a supplement." And I'm like, how is this helping? If you want me to eat less and less and less and less, I'm still going to be hungry.
Exactly.
And then I've also tried, slim fast shakes. I've tried low carb diets, everything, you name it.
Okay. And you lost some weight, and then what happened?
Gained it all back.
You gained it back.
It wasn't sustainable.
It wasn't sustainable. I hear that a lot.
Yes.
Changing your lifestyle is so important. And then, when did you come to the realization that I've got to do something about my weight and maybe bariatric weight loss surgery is it? What made you come to that? Did you have people who had the surgery, friends, relatives?
I don't know anybody personally who had this surgery. I didn't even know about it until one day scrolling on, social media and, trying to find people who have gone through weight loss and what they did, what worked for them. I wanted to know what worked for them, so maybe it could work for me. Not all things work for other people that are going to work for me. So I started following this one person, and she said that she had bariatric surgery and how it worked for her, and the pros and cons. And so I started Googling it and seeing if it was something that could work for me. And I'm a big believer in not always just because a diet works for you does not mean it's going to work for me, but I love researching.
Okay.
And my biggest thing, I knew I lost already maybe 130, 40 pounds on my own with quick weight loss, but I just started building habits that weren't sustainable, that weren't healthy. My habits were going to the gym for 3 hours a day, eating this amount of food or any, and I knew it wasn't working because I couldn't keep up with it.
Right.
10 pounds would come off, and then I ate one meal and I feel like 5 pounds would come on,
Right.
and then I checked my thyroid to see if there was something going on there. Nothing was wrong. So I said, I just want to feel full after I eat one meal. After I eat my healthy meal, I just want to feel full. I want to be content. I don't want to keep going back in the kitchen and getting a little bit more, and then eating sweets and everything. That was my thing.
Exactly.
So
now, did you learn about eating healthy as far as calories and carbs and what makes up food during these weight loss situations? Did they teach you about healthy lifestyle or healthy eating other than just don't eat this, do eat this?
No, not at all. They
Okay.
said, this is what you can eat. This is what you're allowed to eat. And period. That's it.
Okay. So I think we'll find out that changing your lifestyle is integral in the bariatric surgery arena.
It is.
It
If
is.
you are not, you know, in your mindset of what's healthy, what I can eat, what, not saying what can I eat, because I don't like to limit people saying you can only eat, this is the good food, this is the bad food, because if you go through life with that, you're just going to be miserable. But you just need to know a balance and, you know, what works for your body. You know, at the end, before I did bariatric surgery, my friend was putting me on this thing called macros, how many fats you can eat a day, how many carbs you can eat a day, and everything like that. And I kind of liked it because I can introduce carbs. Not all carbs are
Right,
bad, type of thing.
right,
I can
exactly.
introduce fats.
Well, there's a certain amount of food that everybody needs. That's calories,
Yes.
energy,
Hmm.
and it should be carb, fat, and protein. And I always tell
Yes.
patients that down the road, when you're eating normal, meaning not puree, not liquid, but just food that's chewed properly, you'll be eating a balanced meal, just small amounts, just less of
Exactly.
it.
Hmm.
Great. That's great insight.
Hmm.
Now, when you went searching for a surgeon, how did you go about that?
Good old Google.
Google, Google, yay!
Google, Google.
Love
And
it.
then I wanted someone local. I did not want to travel. I've never had surgery before, so I was very worried about that. So I Googled basically how much would it cost, because, you know, I don't have great insurance. I do have medical insurance, but, you know, they didn't cover it. So I knew everything was going to be out of pocket.
Right.
So, you know, Googling around, searching who had the best prices, and then who also had the best recommendations and, you know, their patients. I wanted to talk to their patients to see, you know, how do you like everything? So I think the first place was Miami, but it was so expensive, and Miami is an hour and a half away from me. You know, I still wanted to be a little bit closer to home just in case.
Just for
And
our
then
viewers, we're in West Palm Beach, Florida.
I'm Boynton Beach, so close, yeah, closer to West Palm Beach, yes.
Right. Go ahead.
And then I searched, I saw a doctor, and then I saw a lot of doctors in Mexico, and I was like, no, that's all too far. Cost wise, it sounded pretty good, but I didn't, over the borders, not my type of thing.
Right.
And then I came across Dr. Schillenford, and I Googled the surgery. I knew all the benefits. I knew all the pros and the cons. And
Mhm.
I was ready. I was ready to sign that paper. I was ready to go to surgery. Like, I just knew this is for me. I
Right.
had no hesitation.
And what
It
made you
wasn't,
come to that decision, that specific feeling with Dr. Schillingford?
I talked to him. I think it was like the week after. Um, I talked to him and I said, this is the surgery. And he,
Go ahead.
okay. I went to a meeting with him. It was an introductory meeting where you would go into the office. He had, I believe, two lovely ladies, you know, take you in, um, get your weight, get you, you know, fill out all the paperwork. And then they would have like a meeting with everybody. And everybody was there because of their own situations. Everybody was there because no matter what weight you are, they just wanted to change. And they talked about the surgery and the two possible surgeries that you could have. And then he came in and he talked about what he did and how it would work. And then if you were interested, you just talk to him, and you could talk to him for about an hour or so. It doesn't matter. He would answer every question you had. He wanted you to feel safe. He wanted you to know what the outcomes and what your expectations were,
Hmm.
and just for you to be okay of what was going to go down. And
Right.
I felt, before I went to the meeting, I already knew I wanted it. And after talking to him and him treating me like a person and not a number, not another, you know, money transactions, like, I knew he was a doctor for me.
Excellent. Excellent. And how much did you weigh at that time, Nancy, when you first went to the meeting?
When I first went to the meeting, I believe I was 230 something, or maybe 240 something.
And how
Yeah.
long ago was your surgery?
My surgery was October, I believe, right before things Halloween, October 27th, 2018.
18. So
Yes.
we're almost, well, 2 years, almost 2 years now.
Hmm.
And have you lost to your goal weight?
See, I stopped my, I'm at my goal body, but
Okay.
I'm not at my goal weight because everyone has a number in their head, but that number necessarily is not healthy or not achievable pertaining to your height and your body mass and all that stuff. So everyone thinks I'm okay. People actually, yesterday I went to go get my nails done and people were talking about, oh, you're too skinny now. And I'm like,
Ah,
at
okay.
first I was too big. Now I'm too skinny.
Now,
Obviously, I'm never going to be able to please you, and I shouldn't care about pleasing you. I should please myself.
absolutely. And I use that word because I get that a lot. I want my goal to be, and I do ask patients what they want to be to see where their head's at. And there are weights designed based on your skeleton, but they're
Yes,
not always perfect for you. And if you lose 50 to 100 to 200 pounds, you're going to be healthier. So, what you
exactly.
feel comfortable with and you have a good energy level is very, very important. So, no one is ever going to say to you, you've got to be this weight or you should be. We'll discuss what's healthy and then we'll go from there.
Hmm.
Yes, good. And you've reached that place for yourself, which is wonderful.
Yep.
I also want to let the viewers know that bariatric weight loss surgery, you usually will lose 60 to 70% of your weight that is overweight that you want to
Hmm.
lose. Okay.
Hmm.
And it takes about 12 to 18 months. It's not that fast. But let's talk about how it was for you after surgery. You're usually in surgery 2 days or in the hospital 2 days, correct?
Hmm. Yes.
And then you're home drinking water and getting up walking. And what difficulties did you have, if any, after the surgery?
Oh man. So that was my first ever surgery, by the way. And I remember Dr. Schillenford came to my room every day. And I remember saying, take a picture of my stomach. I want to see it. And he actually did. And he showed it to me. And he texted to me because I was in the medical field for a little bit. So I was very curious about human organs. And
Okay,
he did.
right?
And, he was very attentive about my questions and everything. So I remember after surgery, difficulties with drinking. And I've always had a problem with not drinking enough.
Water,
Always,
drinking enough
yes.
water. Yeah.
Hmm. Any liquids, period.
Okay.
Um, and then, so that was a little tough for me. And people would be scared of the catheter. And I'm like, I was kind of scared of that at one point.
Okay.
But when they took it out, it was fine, but they pumped me with a lot of liquids and it made me go to the bathroom. So I was like, oh, I have to walk.
Yes.
I
And that's
was
good. We
very,
like you to walk for the circulation. It's very, very
yes.
important.
I remember the first walk out of my bed, I did cry a little bit because it was just, your core muscles, you don't realize that you need to get them to get out of bed. But after that, I was walking every day, and the nurses would be like, "Wow, you're so strong! You're walking so good!" Walking down the hall was like a big thing. But I did it. And then when I got home, my recovery process was pretty good too. I just missed going to the gym. I was a big person about going to the gym every day at 6 a.m. That was my normal. So not be able to do that was a little tough for me and mentally challenging, and not doing my normal routine.
Okay.
Um, and also being aware of keep drinking, keep drinking, keep drinking. And food
Yeah.
was not an issue. Like they said, you're not going to be hungry after surgery, which I wasn't. And I was
Okay.
excited about that, you
Yes.
know,
That's one of the positive byproducts of the surgery. And so two
being,
weeks of liquid and
yes.
you got, and how was the urine color?
I think very, very yellowish, I think, in the beginning because I was just so dehydrated, but then it became like clearer and clearer.
Okay. And we like to make sure that the patients know that they need to drink 64 ounces or more of fluid,
Yeah.
0 calorie fluid.
Yes.
We love water, but
Love water.
any fluid will work. but lots
Mhm.
of water post-surgery is very important because how much weight did you start losing? Did you weigh yourself right away or did
Yes,
you
I
did?
weighed myself every day,
Okay.
every morning, and the weight was dropping off 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds, two
Okay.
pounds. And then I believe it, I was at my 2 week mark, and then it was like 1 pound a day, and then I started walking, and, I would talk to Dr. Schiller. He's like, yeah, walking is good, but don't overdo it. And then it was funny when I started walking and the weight was going down a little slower, but it was because, you're using energy that you're not taking in. So then your body is trying to figure out where this energy is coming from.
It's going to be the fat that's breaking down. So that's where the
Hmm.
body's getting that energy because fat is just calories stored. So the
Yes.
body's saying we need more calories, and that's where the weight loss. And the fact that you were doing so well in the gym by going to the gym every day, did you say, or 6 days a week?
Every
Oh,
single day.
so you must have
Almost.
had a lot of muscle mass, which helps the weight loss. Okay,
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
great. Good. And you're back to the gym now?
I am. So I had my gastric sleeve surgery in October 2018, and I had my skin remover surgery
Uh,
also in October 2019.
okay,
So
so
I
let's
was all
talk about
12 months
that.
out.
What
Yes,
I'm
let's talk
very what I'm very interested in is your weight before the surgery and the weight after. I get that question all the time.
Yes.
So
Okay, so weight,
what made you come to that place? Again, I like decision making. What did you do? You looked at your body and you said what?
all this work I did to have this. What?
Okay.
Not fair.
Okay. And then what happened? You went looking for a plastic surgeon.
I always knew I needed it.
Okay.
Um, Coming from, weighing 200, going back to 100, going to 250, going back to 200, going to 350, now going to, 150. It's like putting my body through all those changes. I knew it would never be able to snap to the, you know,
Right.
place I wanted it to be.
Now you have that beautiful skin, Nancy. But did you have stretch marks?
I did have stretch marks on my stomach and where else was I? On my arms a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And can you tell us what surgeries you did have on your body?
Yes, no problem. So I had a breast augmentation, which I had skin removal on my breast, and also a breast lift with augmentation. Um, and then I also had a tummy tuck. And then since I didn't have fat to do a Brazilian butt lift, I had to basically have a circumferential body lift where they basically, in layman's terms, take my butt, lift it, and tuck it inside of itself.
Ah, okay. And how do you like your shape now?
Oh, I love it.
Okay. All
And
right.
I'm turning heads. I was turning heads when I was 350 pounds. I was turning heads when I was, now I'm turning heads when I'm 160 something pounds. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's your weight now, 160?
I'm about 160s. Yeah,
Okay. And we must tell you that Nancy is nice and tall. How tall are you, Nancy?
I am. I'm about 5'8".
Okay. So that's why she was always turning heads, and she's gorgeous, as you can see.
Yeah.
And now you feel more gorgeous from the inside out?
Yes. When I told people I wanted skin removal, everyone was like, why, where? I go to the gym, so it's not very noticeable whatsoever. Even in my gym clothes, I wear tight clothes to keep everything in, so I didn't feel my skin flapping back and forth. I have a story I tell my friends all the time. It's like, I'm very competitive in my gyms. If we do CrossFits or we're running, you don't want people to go in front of you. One day I was running and I hear somebody behind me, like, oh, I gotta run faster. Come to me, and it wasn't anyone behind me. It was me hearing my skin going, thinking it was somebody behind
Oh,
me.
how interesting. How interesting.
Yeah.
So that
So
gave you the impetus to get the surgery as well?
yes, I just wanted to feel confident clothed and unclothed. You know,
Yeah.
no one could tell that I had my excess skin, but I could tell. And I just wanted to feel confident. And, you know, I did so much work, you know, to try to get my body the way I wanted it to be. And I told my surgeon, I don't want you to touch me unless I could do all the work myself. You know, a lot of people go through plastic surgery nowadays and not doing anything, no dieting, no exercising, no trying to implement healthy, you know, routines in their life. I didn't want to do that. I knew I was doing all that, but I told him, don't touch me until I do everything I could do inside the gym, outside the gym, everything. And then what I can't do, you could tweak up. And he said,
Right.
okay, when you're ready. And that's what happened. That's what I did.
And the workout is so important to keep that muscle mass. We lose 20% of our muscle mass after age 40 and then 8% every year after. And with the surgery, we have less skin problems if you get to the gym, but also that's part of that healthy lifestyle, keeping that muscle mass strong. Okay, that's very good. And it probably was better for you as far as the skin removal because you had that muscle
Mm-hmm.
to fill in the areas of the skin. And what about
Yes.
scarring, Nancy, after your surgery, after your plastic surgery?
So I'm 4 months out right now. There is scarring, but you know, there's ways. I'm now actually doing, since everything's healed. I'm now trying to, you know, put aloe vera. Silicone sheets are really good, they say.
Okay.
So, but it's a type of thing. You know, you go through bariatric surgery, you're gonna have little scars on your stomach. So it's just, you know, you rather pick your evil, excess skin or a little scar.
Right. Your
Being
clothes, you can't see the scars.
Oh no, yeah, no,
Yeah, that's great.
nothing is visible like that. Yeah.
Excellent.
Hmm.
And now I'd like to go back to the changes in lifestyle. We know we're going to go back to the gym
Hmm.
and the food. How did you adjust to the food situation in restaurants and with your
Oh
friends?
man.
Did you tell your friends and colleagues that you were getting the surgery or did they just see the weight loss?
I did tell my close friends. I told obviously my parents and my family members. The only people who don't know is either I haven't really publicly told social media that much because, you know, a lot of people have, you know, their opinions about, oh, you took the easy way out. That's the easy way. And I tell people I have two ways I lost weight. I lost weight the natural way without weight loss surgery, but it wasn't sustainable for me. I kept on gaining it back. And I lost weight bariatric way. And people are like, oh, what's the easy way? I'm pretty sure
Oh, easy way.
the easy way out was bariatric. And I'm telling them, no, it isn't.
No.
My whole life has changed. You know, I'm 30 years old. I'm single. So dating is hard. You know, the first thing you do is you go out to eat, you drink. I'm telling people I cannot eat and drink at the same time. You know,
So,
one drink for me is like three drinks.
right. Now, we always caution bariatric patients not to drink 6 months to a year after
Yes.
surgery because we don't want the transference of addiction. Not to assume that people are addicted to food, but sometimes they are, and we don't want them to get addicted to other substances because
Mhm.
food is a substance. And you are a cheap drunk, right?
Yes.
You don't need much, so you got to be careful. And please have some food with your drink.
Hmm.
All right. And of course, after surgery and when you're learning how to eat again, liquid, liquid, liquid between meals. Stop drinking 30 minutes before your meal so you have room in your stomach for the food.
Hmm.
We need
Hmm.
the food, and the metabolism is revved up with food. We need food to make calories burn. So
Hmm.
tell us about the changes in your eating out experience, or when you met somebody that you were dating, did you tell them about the surgery?
No, I figured like it's none of their business to tell them on the first date. No one wants to hear about these things on the first date. You
Okay.
know, hey, my name is Nancy. I've lost 300. No, I'm sorry. I was once weighed 300 pounds. How are you doing today? You know, it's not something you talk about. So
Okay.
I I
Curious.
usually just
I'm sure the
I
viewers
just
would love it.
I just want to be normal. I don't want people to judge me for things I've done in the past or what are my restrictions. So usually I just tell them like, oh, I'm not that hungry today. They're like, oh, okay. and we just go about it that way. And, I have my little drinks in the beginning, and then we talk for a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I could eat something, you know, speaking it in that way. Then we have a little appetizer. I'm like, oh, I'm full. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I wasn't that hungry. And then we just move on, move past it.
Okay.
And if
Okay.
I get to know them longer, then I tell them, okay, this is the reason why I eat this much, and this is the reason why I don't mix certain things, and then they understand. But I try not to just, say that out on the first date or anything like that.
And many patients tell me that people treat them differently after their weight loss. Has that affected you, or have you had instances where people are different? Either they're maybe jealous or wondering if they don't know that you had surgery, or they don't want to eat around you, or what else could it be? Any?
Mm, I definitely seen some of my friendships, deteriorate a little bit, and I didn't know why. And then people are telling me they might be because like they're jealous. They were always skinny and they'd always looked good, but now like I'm skinny and I look, I guess, better than them in certain ways, and maybe they're jealous. But I'm like, okay, I can't. I'm sorry. What can I do?
Can't do, yeah.
Um,
Time to go. Time to go. Sometimes, no, sometimes you just have to go and leave those people behind, right?
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
always mentioning to patients that your life changes in every way as you change. So sometimes you just have to let things that don't enhance you, leave them behind. And that means people as well. But there's always new friends to meet,
exactly. Yeah.
which
I
is
get a lot of, I get it. I was actually talking to someone the other day about, the five love languages. And one of them was like, words of affirmation or like compliments and everything. That's the last on my list. I don't need it.
okay.
I feel like people always look at looks,
Right.
always,
Thing. Mm-hmm.
oh, you're such a pretty girl, but,
Ooh, the big butt. We don't like
but exactly.
literally or figuratively. Yeah.
And then after that, I got, oh, you're losing weight. You look good. But keep on going, though. Keep on going.
Ah,
Then it was, oh, don't get too skinny now. Whoa, wait, hold on. Hold on. Now
right.
it's like,
They're telling you what to do.
exactly. You go through stages and you're never going to be good enough. And so I was like, you know what? I want to look good for myself. And that's it.
Right. And learning how to make your parameters is so important in your life because food prep is important, getting your exercise important, getting your sleep. And usually when I talk to bariatric patients, they're so busy, they don't have time to take care of themselves. And we have to have a paradigm shift, meaning this is the new me and I'm going to maintain it. And it does take time to be healthy, but the rewards are endless. I mean, you probably have added 20 years to your lifespan by getting,
Probably, yeah.
yes, very, very important.
Mhm.
Okay,
Eating,
go ahead.
eating, has changed for me a little bit because I used to love, growing up in the Caribbean background, rice was a big thing, and that's the main stapler in our dish.
Right.
Now I hardly eat rice, and if I do eat rice, it's cauliflower rice. I'm a
Okay.
big, advocate about learning how to make unhealthy food healthy. And before I did not any vegetables. So I'm just like in the kitchen trying to see how I could make fried chicken. And now I'm like, I can do it. Put a little seasonings on it, put it in the air fryer. Comes
There
out
you go.
crispy. Don't need anything to be fried.
And now
And then
you're
with this,
eating more vegetables?
yes, I love cauliflower. I love broccoli, Brussels sprouts, like those, like butternut squash, spaghetti squash. Those are I love them.
Lots of low carb vegetables. We love that. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And
Mhm.
what about the surgery, if there is any negative? Can you tell us?
It's definitely mental.
Okay.
Um, you don't get to be 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 500 pounds without not having a struggle or a bad relationship with food.
Right.
So when you're going through this surgery, it's really going to be challenging.
Yes.
You're going to go home, go to a restaurant and pick out a meal that you've always eaten. And you maybe could have 3 or 4 bites. And after that 3 or 4 bites, you're just like done. And you just get frustrated. You're like, what? That was nothing. That's, you know.
And how did you feel after that when you couldn't eat the quantity that you normally could?
At first you're like, oh yeah, I only have a bite. That's nice. But sometimes you're like, you really want to at least have half the meal to enjoy it.
Right.
But you have to think you're eating food for nourishment, not for enjoyment.
Exactly.
Food is not a sport.
I love it. Yes, you're right. And that old saying, you want to live, not live to eat, but eat to live.
Live. Yes, your
Quality
favorite
over
chocolate
quantity.
cake is good, but you can have one. You don't need to have but 20 of them like you used to have.
Exactly. Do you find that when you're not eating that much, or you're eating the quality over quantity food, that you're thinking about all the other things that you could be doing with your life that you didn't do when you were eating, and then that prompted you to eat more? Whereas when you are energized, you can think about the vacations or having a family or picking up a new sport.
Yeah, when people say let's go do something, my initial thing was usually, oh, let's go out to eat. Oh, let's try
Ah,
that new restaurant.
okay.
Let's go drinking. Now it's like, oh, let's try and dive skydiving, which I did 2 weeks ago. I would never have done, and there's a weight limit on that, and I
Yes.
succeeded in everything. You know,
Yes.
let's go. Let's go to that new golfing range that's in
Yes.
West Palm. Let's do this. Let's go to a candy. I think it's like a candy thing where you can jump in like mushrooms. I mean, not mushrooms. I'm blah.
Okay.
Marshmallows, like something different like that.
Oh,
Like you can
wow. Yeah, like
stuff, not
okay.
just always sitting down and eating and drinking.
Some
Like,
exercise, some movement, some new
yes,
experience.
yes.
That's good. That's so good. And would you have done the surgery earlier if you knew how positive it was?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
I would have. But I did the surgery when I was I was down. I didn't know what else to do. I was trying to figure out how I can be able to eat my healthy meals and not feel hungry. I had the surgery at my time, at the right time for
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
Some people have their surgery in the beginning where they have to lose 200 to 300 pounds. And I condemn them because, I only had to lose 80 to 90 pounds. And yes, that's a lot, but compared to a lot of bariatric surgeries patients, they lose that between 3 months, 4 months.
Did you have any
And
comorbidities like diabetes or high blood pressure, high cholesterol?
I actually never had that.
Okay.
I never
Your
suffered through
blood
that.
work was good?
Blood work was good.
Okay.
And, one of the side effects of bariatric surgery is having, what is it? Acid reflux. And I don't suffer from that, fortunately. So, I still have my B12 shots and,
Good.
every month I inject myself, you know, I'm not perfect with my vitamins, but I try.
Very important for
Yes,
the
very
viewers.
important.
A month after surgery, start taking your vitamins. You have less stomach surface area, and
Hmm.
you may have deficiencies. So we always say the rest of your life, vitamins, minerals, and also
Yes.
get your blood checked every year. Make sure
Yep.
that you're not getting deficient in anything.
Hmm.
Now, can we also share with our viewers what you do for a living and if the bariatric surgery has affected that at all?
So I'm a nanny, by day, opera singer by night. So I've noticed, before surgery, I would eat, you're a nanny, you're at home, you're giving the 2-year-old crackers and everything. So you're going to nibble on the crackers all the time. And I noticed her gaining a little weight because I'm always giving her goldfish, crackers,
Ah,
everything starchy. And when I had my bariatric surgery, I couldn't eat crackers. I was like, you're not having crackers. If you want a snack, we're going to
carbohydrate.
have cottage cheese.
Okay. So you
we're
changed
gonna
your
have,
diet.
yeah.
Okay.
I changed my diet and her diet changed, and she actually leaned out as well. And I was like, wow.
All right. So we're transferring our good information to others.
Yes.
I like that.
hmm She will pick up a she's 2 years old. She's 28 months old. Yeah. She will pick up a broccoli than a French fry.
All right. I like it. And how about the singing? Has that affected your career, the weight loss?
Yes, a little bit. Sing, you know, what this saying, something about, it's not over until the fat lady sings or something like that.
Oh,
It's funny.
yes.
But being overweight, or being obese, singing was not very hard for me. You have to use the diaphragm in opera singing to lift up, diaphragm and everything to go out. So after losing weight, I didn't have to like lift up my diaphragm so much and use so much effort. So my singing was like, like in the beginning, I didn't have the control. I didn't know how to control it anymore. I didn't have to use so much effort.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you learned to control your body differently.
I didn't have to use so much muscles it became a little bit easier.
Right. Right. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Wonderful,
Mhm.
wonderful. And how long was your recovery time? When did you go back to work after surgery? How long did you take off?
I believe I think I have a high tolerance of pain. So I believe only took off 1 week off of work. But fortunately for me, I was able to go to work with my mother, and because I was not able to lift anything over 5 to 10 pounds.
Right.
So my mom came to work with me, and whenever I had to hold the baby up, she would do it until I think I was cleared to lift anything heavier than 5 or 10 pounds after a couple weeks or maybe 6 weeks. So luckily for me, my mom stayed with me longer just in case. And even with the skin removal surgery, I was out for only 1 week, but I should have been out for
Right.
months.
Okay.
But luckily,
Everybody's a little different. I want everybody to know, but you had a very successful and easy comeback, so to speak.
yes, yes. My mom was there to help me, and, it's, if you had other jobs, like you have to go into work and you have to lift heavy, then yeah, that would be really
Right.
tough. But you should take out 3 to 4 weeks, even maybe a month, just in case.
Right. We always say at least 2 weeks. Better to have 2 weeks and not need them. And many
Yes.
people go back to work early because I talked
hmm
about bariatric patients after their surgery, 6 to 10 days out, and some of them are working. So, and some of them are not. So it depends. Everybody's a
yeah.
little different. The pre-op, how much you weigh at the beginning, and what your exercise and walking routines
hmm
are. So that's good.
hmm
That's wonderful. Well, I'd like to conclude that our session today, and I really
yes.
appreciate your insight, and I hope the viewers will too. And
hmm
we will be putting your information along with this video so they can get in contact you or Instagram you or text you. And of course, I'm at bariatric registered dietitian services.com, and we'll be having other videos with other integral people that will help you make your decision about bariatric surgery. So I hope you enjoyed our session today and have a wonderful day.